Hello guys, this is Panos from pparch, and today as requested I'm gonna be showing you how to make this amazing architecture plan from our Instagram profile in Adobe Photoshop. Alright, first things first, we open our AutoCAD file with our architectural plan. We just go ahead, create a new layer. Let's name it pparch, and we hit a very thin line weight. 0.09 will work very nice for the purpose of this video. Click OK. We select all and we just transfer it to the new layer. Now we just check the details. All right, that's very nice. So go ahead and plot it. We select DWG to PDF high quality, and be careful here in the PDF options. We hire the raster image quality. It has to be larger than 300 dpi's, because in this way it looks better in Photoshop, and we will not have this dotted effect that we will not, what we don't like. So let's put it 900. Hit OK. We click on window to select the area that we want to plot, and we just go ahead, click OK. We see our preview here. It looks very nice. So let's just go ahead and open Adobe Photoshop. Now what we will do is that we will import our plan in a PDF format, and we will start applying some textures to it. Alright, so let's click Ctrl O to open our plan in PDF form. Alright, this one. By hitting C, we can expand our drawing surface. Alright, that's very nice. It's always nice to put your drawing files in a big context so you're able to see the textures accordingly. We'll just create a new layer. Let's name it background, because we'll paint it white with the paint bucket tool. Alright, now in this way the plan is visible. And from layer 1, let's rename it to plan. Now let's start importing some textures. We hit again Ctrl O, and we select the textures that I have included in the description. I have included 3 of them, but I think number 1 works better in this case. Alright, open. Ctrl O to select the texture, Ctrl C to copy, and Ctrl V to paste it in our drawing board. Let's resize it, Ctrl T. And now what we need to do is to just copy and paste the texture everywhere on top of the plan. So afterwards we'll be using the masks, and we'll just paint over the bearing walls to create this effect. Let's merge all the layers by pressing Ctrl E. As you guys have noticed, I like working with shortcuts because it makes the whole workflow easier, and I think it's more convenient in the long run. I will point out the most important of them in the description box below so you guys can have a look. Alright, perfect. So now let's just create the mask and paint it all black. Now we're just gonna go to our plan layer, select the bearing walls with a selection tool. And now we're gonna go to the mask, select our pen tool, and just start painting over the walls, the bearing walls. So because we have the white color in our brush, it just shows the areas that are visible in the texture below. With the selection tool, we can always fix some small details. Alright, I think the texture overall looks very nice, but what we need to do right now is to create a curve adjustment layer, because I just wanted to make it a little bit darker. So I'm just gonna drag it like this. So in that way the darker areas become even darker. Alright, that's how I want it to be. Very nice. And now we'll just create a new layer. Let's just rename the layers in order not to get confused later. I'm just gonna go with walls and black walls. Again, I'm doing the same procedure. I'm going to my plan layer. I'm selecting the bearing walls. And with the pen tool, I'm just gonna paint all black. Oops. Yeah. All right, that's very nice. Now I can just move the black walls on top of the walls, and I can adjust the opacity in order to create the desired look. I think 24, no, I think 47. Let's try, let's go with 47. No, it doesn't look that much. Let's go with 27. Now I think 22 looks fine. Very nice. You can select your own style, of course. I just think that 22 is a nice value for this effect. All right, now we'll just go ahead and create our terrain texture. Let's select texture number 2 from the description box. I think it works better in our case, but of course you guys can select any other texture you want to try. We're just gonna be pasting it on top, and we'll follow the same procedure. Just gonna be painting over with the spot filling brush tool. So we'll just erase some small details, and now we're just gonna go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and let's put a value of I think 30.7 will look good. All right, but perfect. Now we're just gonna expand our texture. All right, so it can cover again. Again, we're following the same procedure as before. We're just gonna be covering all the design, create a mask, paint it black with a paint bucket tool. We're just gonna go to our plan layer, select all the areas that we wanted to have this terrain texture. All right. All right, and now we're just gonna go to our layer mask. Again, select the brush tool and paint white all over the texture. All right, now as we see, we have a small problem here because the lines from our plan are not visible. Now what we're gonna do is move the terrain layer in the bottom, so we'll have our plan layer on top. And I'm just gonna decrease the opacity to 27. I think that's a good look. That looks very nice in our case. Let's just name it to floor. So we'll have our textures ordered in order. Okay, let's just select again the missing floor area and let's paint on top. That's very nice. All right, so next thing we're gonna do now is to create this shadow effect in our furniture in order for us to distinguish them from the rest. All right, so we're just gonna go to our plan layer again and select the preferred furniture. Let's start with this couch and see how that goes. Just select all the couch, create a new layer again, paint it all black. Just gonna go again to our plan layer and fix these small mist selections. All right, let's just paint them again. Very nice. And now we're just gonna be grabbing it onto the side. All right, like this. Yes, this looks very nice, I think. And we're just gonna paint over again the mist details. Now this is actually depending on the shape of your furniture, but this couch has a bit weird shape, so I'm just gonna go and select all and just paint it over. All right. Now in order to make it look more realistic, I'm just gonna go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. Lower down the radius to 4.7, I think it will work great. Yes, 4.7. And this is our base shadow. Now again, I'm gonna be using masks, so I will be able to erase the part that is on top of the couch. Let's just name our layer couch shadow. Yeah. Just gonna go again, create a new mask, go to plan, again select our couch here. That's very nice. All right. We're gonna go in couch shadows layer mask. Gonna selecting the pen and again paint it all over black. All right. So in this way, we just have discriminated the shadow and create a separate layer, including only the shadow of the couch. Lower the opacity to make it look more realistic. I think a value of 27 looks very nice. 17. I think a value of 17 looks very nice. So after having applied this effect in one furniture, we can just go ahead and recreate this whole effect by selecting all furniture at once and doing it a little bit faster, because now we know what exactly we're looking for. So I'm just gonna play it in fast forward. Alright, we're gonna be selecting the procedure is the same, we just change the selection area. Again, we just move to the side, we're applying the blur effect. Go on our plan layer in order to select again all the furniture. Alright, now we go into our layer mask and just delete the overriding shadow. Alright, now that we have our furniture ready, we are more or less ready to continue with the next effect. Now what we need to do is to apply some shadows in their basic form. So we're gonna go ahead, create a new layer again. Let's name it external shadows. And now we're gonna hold our shift key, click on the edge of this column, just repeat the process here. Now we're gonna go and select our bucket tool and let's paint it all black. By pressing Ctrl T, we're able to apply the transform effect and shrink it down. Fix a small detail here. And now we're going to go ahead and repeat the process in the other columns, or we could just duplicate this shadow by pressing Ctrl J. And now on this new layer, we'll just draw on top to include the other areas that the shadow is casted. Again, with our paint bucket tool, we're gonna paint it all black. And now we can just lower the opacity to our desired levels. Again, there is no right and wrong in this procedure. We just do what we like the most. I would suggest you to merge the two layers so we can adjust them all at once, so the shadow has the same opacity everywhere. We can go ahead and create a mask and just eliminate the parts. We could also go to our plan layer and select the column and just paint it on. Let's also fix this small area here. Now with the main layer selected and not the mask, we can just paint on top again, exactly the way we did before. And now again, by holding Shift, we just create a 45-degree line. And now it's easier for us to just create more realistic shadows. Let's try to fix this part as well. All right. Now all I'm doing is just selecting the shadows that I want to hide and just paint them on top. Now let's create a new layer and let's name it Details. Here's the tricky part. We're going to our external shadows layer, and with the quick selection tool, we'll lower the opacity a little bit, and with the quick selection tool, we just select all the area that there are shadows. And after going to the details layer, fix here some small details. All right, we don't want to include this part. Again, I'm just using the selection tool by holding Shift, so I can exclude some parts from the selection. We select our brush. After selecting the brush tool with a soft brush, we can just paint on top. And now that this creates this small degradation effect that gives the impression of depth. I'm just gonna deselect again some parts. For this tutorial, let's suppose that the sun is coming from the right side of the design, so I'm just gonna exclude this part so I can paint the small area. Again, I'm gonna exclude this part here because I'm just gonna work on it. I'm just gonna work on it later. Again, we're choosing the brush tool and paint on top of it. So we just have this degradation showing up, and that's where the magic happens, right? Of course, we can lower the opacity of the new layer. Yeah, that looks quite well to me. And that's it. We're pretty much done with this effect. Of course, you can alter it the way you want to. You can just change the shadows opacity. You can even change the color of the shadow. You can do whatever you want, actually. It all comes down to your imagination and your purpose for this specific visualization. Guys, don't forget that I have included in the description box below all the textures used for this tutorial, as well as the main design in PDF form. I think that will be quite beneficial for you because you will be able to practice at home. Of course, guys, if you have any questions regarding this specific effect or in general, you can just DM me on my Instagram profile. Thanks again for watching. I hope this tutorial helped you in your presentations in the future. Please feel free to comment below what you think about this effect.